flight system that we're going to be able to see in person, both at the trailing edge of the wing and at the leading edge of the wing as well. C-17 Airshow demonstration. It is an airplane that took all of the best parts of 3 different Lockheed aircraft, the best of the C-141, the best of the largest aircraft in our military inventory, the C-5, and the best of the C-130, and put them all into one package. They learned from those 3 airplanes. And we say Boeing, it is Boeing now, but I give it to Donald Douglas at Long Beach, California. They put it together.
And you think September of 1991 was the first flight, and throughout that time, how many produced, Danny?
I have down here from the books 279 were produced. We kept most of them. The U.S. kept 223. The rest were distributed to NATO, to Canada, to Qatar, United Arab Emirates, to India, to Kuwait, to Australia, and to the United Kingdom.
Today we've got a crew from Charleston Air Force Base in South Carolina. We've got Major Brad Sapper, Major Jade Crane, and Captain Spencer Dewey. The loadmaster is Staff Sergeant Jose Montoya, and the maintainers are Staff Sergeant Jerry Moran and Senior Airman Jared Guidry. And the crew has a combined total of over 11,000 flight hours in a number of different Air Force aircraft. Turning this one, you know, they say, is it a fighter or a freighter? Because unlike the C-5 that has a big yoke and the C-130 that has a big yoke or a wheel kind of control, not this one.
It has a joystick.
Oh yeah.
So it is modern. It also has a HUD or a heads-up display. Watch this high-speed pass.
Top speed on this airplane is somewhere around 515 miles per hour. Today, maybe 350, 370.
They're smoking pretty good for a big airplane.
Weighing in at a maximum gross weight of 585,000 pounds with some very,
So around the world you have spare engines very close to wherever you are. So the aircraft going out on a normal mission will only require 2 pilots and 1 loadmaster. The loadmaster has got automated system in his hand to be able to offload and unload by himself with the cables and the buttons that he has. You don't need a whole lot of people shoving canisters or equipment or driving equipment on board. Yes, it has a rear ramp that doubles as an arrival point for cars, tanks, trucks, and troops, and also a departure point for the same thing.
as it approaches from the right, I've said about that 515 mile per hour top speed. It can go slow too, and what we're going to see next is the approach of the aircraft as it lowers the landing gear, extends the trailing edge flaps, extends the leading edge slats, and this 174-foot long airplane, 169-foot 10-inch wingspan, and 55-foot from the bottom of the tires to the top of the tail airplane comes through at only about 140 miles per hour.
All right, now, as they come by, I mentioned to you those slotted flaps. Look at the trailing edge of the wing. They will look to you if you're in the right angle like Venetian blinds. What it does at the leading edge and the trailing edge is actually change the shape of the wing from a high-speed wing to a high, low speed wing. Changes the entire angle. There, you see that Venetian blind here? See how close the nose here is? Now wait, I can't treat you now. There's no parallel taxiways. I'm on sand, gravel, or matting. What the heck am I going to do?
Well, if you could, you'd send a little tug out there and turn it around.
No tug.
That's not no tug.
No tug.
You'd shut the engine down, have the crew lift it or turn it around.
3 guys.
Three guys.
Not one.
Can't do that, no. Well, I'm at a loss. What would they do, Danny?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Rob Ryder, because I pulled up here. One of the features of the airplane, but they got the best part of the C-130, is that they have not one, but two thrust reversers on each one of the engines. One at the fan area, and we will see that deploy and hear it, and one back at the clamshell area. So you put it into reverse, and you back up on your unapproved runway. You back up to the departure end, unload what you have to unload with the engines running, load what you have to unload, and you're off again 3,500 feet of unapproved runway, and you're gone again. That's the beauty, that's how they turn it around.
As we look at it approaching next, we're going to see a minimum radius turn demonstrating only a fraction of its actual capability to bank real high. But Danny, those things on the end of the wings, let's talk about those.
All right, see those wingtips, folks, how they're turned out? You see those on airliners, they're called winglets. And Joe Holland's up in wingless Pippin right now, but he was up in Seattle, and he pretty much introduced that idea of winglets. See that winglet? See how winglet it is? It's good. What happened is that winglet is 9 8 Oops. Yeah. Save the NBA rules. That's the now the other feature, you're going into in and out of unapproved areas. Thrust reversers will pick up a lot of debris if the runway's not clean. Sand, gravel, dust. What they did was cant the engines upward. They thought of that too. Go into a gravel runway. It's got loose rocks on it. It can damage the engine, but the reversers point up, not down towards the ground, if they don't become what we call vacuum cleaner.
No, we do not want to fog out an engine at all. We sure don't want to do that.
It can fit an M1 Abrams tank, 6 security vehicles, and again, Rob said 170,000 pound payload, fuel over 35,000 gallons, but also air-to-air refueling is capable on these aircraft.
The midpoint, if you will, between the short takeoff and landing capabilities of the C-130 Hercules, the huge lifting capability of the C-5 Galaxy, which brings it down the new F-5 able to carry that plane at a billion first rate. But still, even though it's in between, this airplane, ladies and gentlemen, is the third most expensive airplane ever built for the United States military, behind the B-2 stealth bomber, coming in at $737 million a piece. The cost of an E-3 Sentry airborne warning and control aircraft at about $270 million, and the C-17, $218 million. But talk about the medical missions, we cannot leave that alone.
Here's the story of the humanitarian aspects of this airplane. And again, I was at the theater program. I was in the green room waiting to go on. We had a speaker in there. The previous speaker was a guy talking about Air Force officer, I should say, talking about the C-17 and the medical mission. He said, in the Middle East, we found a wounded soldier. We've got to get him out of the Middle East as quickly as possible. So, as soon as that wounded soldier is okay to travel, we put him on a hospital ship, C-17 hospital airplane, loaded with the equipment and trained crew. We get them out of the Middle East, sent to Frankfurt, Germany, where we have better state-of-the-art facilities and a more friendly surroundings. Then they stabilize them, and as soon as we can get that man or woman back to the States, back on the hospital ship, we take them to the area close to their hometown, where there is a medical facility that's adequate for a VA hospital. We found that if we get them back to their home environment, where they have family, friends, former classmates, moms and dads, it speeds the recovery. It lifts their morale, and they get out of the hospital back to real life once again. That airplane is equipped to do it.
Now let's watch as it approaches at about 130, 140 miles per hour. What we're going to see is the thrust reversers work on the outboard engines. Watch for panels to open up as they reverse the thrust to quickly break this airplane. Slow it down at about 33,000 feet. This is about as much noise as this airplane's ever going to make.
talks about the fact that it carries 102 paratroopers or 134 troops. Now think of that number, 134 troops maximum. The evacuation of Afghanistan, it is reported that there were 823 evacuees inside of that fuselage. Rob, were they sitting down? No. Were they packed together? Yes. Was it crowded? Yes. But, Rob, they were alive. They were alive and they were getting out of that area. Now that broke the record that the C-5 had when it evacuated over 600 people out of the Philippines in anticipation of that typhoon. So it is rescuing people, rescuing civilians. So not only in a military aspect, but a humanitarian aspect as well.
You know, I was told by Dewey, one of the crew members, that they even made a single run from Japan to San Diego with the child, with the infant child of a service person aboard, and got that child out and took care of him. And I found out from somebody in the audience yesterday that it wasn't that particular airplane, but it was a crew that was flying a C-17 from right here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base that made that mission. Talk about taking care of our servicemen and women and their families. That's a great example.
All right, if that airplane taxis off,